Hello, I'll try to explain what I've worked on the last semester. It's called non-object design. Non-object design is a way of approaching our objects and production. Non-object design believes that all our objects exist in two dimensions. The material dimension, where we can touch, see, and interact with our objects, and the contextual one, which describes what the goal is an object is trying to achieve and what behavior it is it's trying to change. I define these dimensions as the intention and the execution. The intention is the question of what do you want to change, and the execution is the produced object that is trying to achieve that goal. Non-object design is all about separating the intention from the execution, keeping the intention as an abstract idea and the execution as a variation of the possible outcomes of the intention. When we do so, it is possible to see the intention as a manual of instructions that tries to solve or change behavior. It becomes an algorithm. The variables of this algorithm exists out of the material dimension, which is based out of the needs and possibilities. Needs are user-centered, so they have a certain human skill. They require a certain price or certain user needs. The possibilities are determined by local producers, so they include factors like access to certain materials, machine productions, or specific expertise they require. The needs and possibilities are what I call the parameters. When we try to put this idea in a diagram, it can look like this. The intention is the grander goal of an object that it's trying to achieve. The algorithm is trying to describe how we could achieve this goal, but yet remains abstract. Once we fill the parameters of needs and possibilities in the algorithm, we get one of the possible executions. Non-object design is about sharing these intentions and algorithms. What design mostly tries to share now with the world is the executions, so aesthetics, functionalities, and the creative properties we want to promote ourselves with. But the world has no need for this. Rather, I would like to see designers also share their intentions and efforts with each other as well. Then it's possible to share our own execution, but it's also possible for others to experiment with the algorithm as well. Only when others want to tweak and modify our objects, we might be able to really make some change. Only then we might be able to make design inclusive. And the intention that might be, for example, formed in Germany, which has a strong industry, could have influence for producers in Mongolia, where the industry is very different. Non-object design aims to decentralize production and share the abstract intentions around the world in an open source manner, yet remain far from direct shapes or systems and is just described in ideas. It trusts in the expertise and adaptability of craftsmen around the world. Non-object design might be very abstract, so I prepared a very simple example that might make things a bit clearer. The intention of the example is to slow down the daily routine of home cooks and let them experience that our objects need maintenance. Taking care of our objects make the relation between object and user stronger. The object is called the soft steel knife. Soft steel gets dull quite quick, but it's also easier to sharpen. This means that users need to take care of their knives more, but in an easier way. Introducing them to the ritual of knife sharpening. The rules of the design are based around this ritual and making the knife sharpening as easy as possible for those who have never experienced this process before. However, we often just share the execution of the knife itself, while the color, shape, or techniques don't matter for the achieved goal. We tend to see the results, but not share the knowledge. There is not one method for sharing the intention and rules of a design. I would like to see non-object design also rather as a mentality or awareness among designers. Each person and each project has their own appropriate way of sharing it. And that was it. Thank you very much for your attention.